How do you motivate others to get involved in climate action efforts? Well, making things fun can be a good way to start, maybe with a game of football or some music. And whether collecting waste or repairing old household items, we can all do our bit. Welcome to a new edition of Eco Africa. I am Chris Alems in Lagos, Nigeria. Great to have you with us. And here's what's coming up. Climate action football in Zimbabwe. Turning waste into energy in Ghana. A rapping for change in the DRC. First of all, though we head to Senegal, like many countries here in Africa, Senegal has a big problem with pollution from road traffic, which is where the Dakar Regional Express train comes in. The new rail link transports around 115,000 passengers every day. It's quick and convenient, and it's also having a positive effect on air quality in the area.
The demand is enormous. Every day, about 80,000 people pass through the gates of the Train Express Regional, known as TER, the pride of Senegal's railway system. Since 2021, the train has been running regularly between Dakar and Diamniadio, the new science and administrative hub 36 kilometers away. Pate Mbenga is a regular passenger. The government official used to spend over 2 hours a day stuck in traffic. Now his commute is just 40 minutes, and he's doing something good for the environment, which he values highly. I think the TER will reduce pollution. I'm not saying it will eliminate it completely, but we are already seeing fewer cars on the road. Traffic is smoother now when you look at the highways and toll roads, because people are using the TER and leaving their cars behind. I think it's making a real impact on the environment. The TER is a flagship project designed to cut Senegal's CO2 emissions by around 30% by 2030. The country currently produces about 12 million tons of greenhouse gases each year, and nearly all of its transport-related emissions come from road traffic. We looked at the number of passengers using the TER and calculated the CO2 emissions we are saving. So far, we've transported over 55 million passengers. If you assume these passengers took the TER instead of a car or a bus, we've saved more than 150,000 tons of CO2. And passenger numbers are rising from 17,000 a day in its first year to almost 5 times that amount today. Depending on the class and destination, tickets cost between 80 cents and around €4. When I go to Dakar to run errands, I prefer taking the TER because I need to be fast. I'm really happy going by train. Before, I used to take minibuses or buses where everyone's jostling. There is never any space. It's really difficult compared to the TER. I commute from Kermassar to Dakar. If I want to get there quickly, I take the TER to avoid traffic jams. It's quiet, comfortable, cooler, and there's less pollution. It's not just the air that's cleaner. The TER is also committed to sustainable and efficient waste management at its 13 stations. We've set up a waste sorting system at all our sites, in the stations, maintenance areas, and on the trains. At the stations, we have waste collectors and special transparent bins so we can monitor what's inside. These bins are divided into 2 compartments, for recyclable waste and non-recyclable. But progress has also brought new challenges. In some areas along the tracks, trash is being dumped on railway property. To combat this, the railway operators are organizing cleanup events and running campaigns to raise public awareness. These awareness campaigns also focus on safety, since we deal with a lot of trespassing on the tracks. And there is the issue of sanitation. because people are throwing their waste onto railway property. We are also tackling illegal dumping within our premises.
À l'intérieur de nos emprises.
Waste management and sustainable mass transit. The TER has proven to be a major success. By mid-2025, the line will extend to the international airport. The TER isn't just transporting passengers, it's bringing big ambitions into reality.
When it comes to looking after our planet, sometimes you just have to roll up your sleeves and get to it. Best of all, in a group. Our next report shows that some climate efforts work best of all when you pull on your football boots first, which is what our next report from Zimbabwe is all about.
Everyone here is on the ball, and not just on the soccer pitch. The Zimconserve Tigers Football Club also trains its young members in environmental awareness. Zimconserve is a local NGO that teaches kids about issues like climate change and the importance of conservation, giving them the skills to make a difference in the world around them.
Each day we meet, we start off by discussing the environmental issues, like the factors affecting the environment, the possible solution or suggestions or anything that we can do to keep those factors. Then we proceed to our sporting activities, helping them to fully understand the environment.
And it's not just these kids who are benefiting. The Soccer Environment Programme runs across 20 schools in and around Harare, with topics taught ranging from recycling to the threat of extinction facing some animal species. Since the project began in 2012, more than 500 young people have taken part. They're learning practical skills, like how renewable energy through solar-powered pumps can keep gardens like this green and thriving, even in times of drought. Or how planting fruit trees can reduce greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Plus, those same trees make a great habitat for various wildlife. When we play soccer, as soon as we get to the field, we first pick up all the plastic litter on the ground. We're encouraged to collect all the waste in bins. And because we do this every day before playing soccer, I've started taking these good habits away with me to keep my environment clean everywhere.
Here in Africa, it is very normal to repair broken household and electric goods. But in Europe, the tendency in recent decades has been to just chuck things out. That creates a lot of waste. Now, there are efforts to encourage more people to go down the repair routes, including some financial incentives. We head to Germany.
We have so much stuff in Europe and create more e-waste per capita than any other region on Earth.
One problem is when this stuff breaks, I have no idea what to do about it. But places like Berlin want to get one step ahead.
As part of its sustainability initiatives, Berlin is working to fix a big gap in the circular economy.
I'm convinced the markets will go for the repairable products.
Berlin will give up to 200 euros per year to people who repair their own broken household items. And the EU hopes that such schemes will drastically reduce the waste produced here.
And we also need the infrastructure to do that, like this massive refurbishment factory is trying to do.
The big question is though, do schemes like this just leave us feeling good, or do they actually do something that tackles so much waste?
Nowadays, it's getting more and more complicated to get things done.
That's René Repassi, a member of Germany's Social Democratic Party, who is working to push through policy change. He's talking about how the complexity of gadgets has gone up. Remember when you could just take the battery out of your old phone and replace it? We also now mix resources more with electronics now in our shoes, for example. And we need so much more raw material for our growing energy needs. René breaks down how the EU is pushing back.
Hardware, there are certain coffee machine producers where you need a special key to open it in order to repair. And this key is either not available or expensive, not allowed anymore. Contractual, if you go with your phone to somebody else to repair it, you lose your contractual guarantee, not allowed anymore. And the last thing that we introduced is we request from the member states to introduce support measures.
So Austria, France, and a couple of states in Germany have now introduced a repair bonus, where you can get part of the repair paid for. A research group calculated savings from the scheme in the state of Thüringen from 2021 to 2023 and found that more than 30,000 subsidized repairs avoided almost 400 tons of electronic waste and almost 3,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. More than a third of users said they would not have repaired their product if not for the cashback scheme. So many regions, including Berlin, are giving it a go too. The state here will now subsidize 50% of the repair cost for a long list of household items when you send your bills in. And this is capped at 200 euros per year. This is all part of a new directive that the EU approved this year that each member state will write into law by 2026. It obliges companies to increase the minimum warranty period and lower the cost of spare parts.
We have these examples that a part of a dishwasher, for example, a simple plastic part in a dishwasher, if you use 3D printing, it would cost you 50 cents. If you purchase it from the producer, you have to pay 200 euros. Nobody can explain this. This is ridiculous. Therefore, we included a rule that prices have to be reasonable, that consumers can request the check of the prices from judges. You can think of repair cafes, that the municipality offers free repair cafes where people can get help in order to get the products being repaired. So to prompt the entire repair. And by that, we get a whole boost for the repair sector.
Let's check it out. Berlin lists its registered repair cafes online. I'm heading to one that's set up inside a second-hand mall run by the city's waste management authority. The authority collects waste and preserves special things that they think deserve a longer life. The repairer didn't want to be filmed because in true Berlin style, his anarchist group believes in the messaging over the individual.
This is broken and I'd like to repair it.
So I'd say this main rubber part here definitely shouldn't be used anymore. We'll have to get a new rubber part.
I can't apply for the repair bonus yet, but when I come back with my new part next month, I will. I wonder though, what happens in places where people lack access to places or schemes like this? Does repair always make sense? One study compared the price of buying new versus repairing washing machines and vacuum cleaners. For such expensive products, it found that in every instance it was significantly cheaper to repair over replace until the very end of life, at which point the two switch. A group of European universities found that overall, while recycling has stolen the glory, repair is the most important pillar of the circular economy. You could save several times the energy required by repairing a household item rather than recycling it, which would include breaking down the device, separating its parts, changing their form, and sending each back into a stream of circulation. So repair infrastructure really needs to catch up. And to do that at scale, we need big players. We've driven across the border to Poland to visit one of the biggest factories in Europe that buys and refurbishes old things. Rebuy says they currently receive 1,500 packages a week through the post. Electronics, books, iPads, game consoles, and watches. Look at that. Here, they check them for quality and sell them back for a longer warranty period than the original, as part of their policy to make things last longer. Without the price being low, Gartner believes their model won't work, which aligns with Berlin's repair bonus idea, which he sees as the next big market.
Over the past years, we also expanded into the area of repair. So we have our own repair facility where we do display changes, battery changes, and other repairs. And that obviously has an additional impact on saving e-waste. And that's an additional area where we see quite some potential.
So we are going to see a lot more of this until economic incentives like the one in Berlin, which have proved to work in some member states, really do tip over a large enough part of the population. And when industry truly catches up.
Those huge mountains of waste certainly make you think, and we have a good number of them. Garbage is so bad for the soil, water and air, as well as for us people. In Ghana, efforts to combat the growing trash problem have led to the development of a hybrid waste-to-energy plant. So far, the pilot project is very promising.
This waste sorting facility is still something of a novelty in Ghana, but the plant here does even more. Some waste is used to produce electricity and compost.
Facilities like this come out to be able to help us and be able to collect our waste and make good use of the waste. In a way, you realize that one of them has to do with job creations. So people in the community will now be engaged in the collection of the waste, which will actually be sent to the community to actually be utilized.
The facility is serving a crucial purpose. Ghana's waste problem is huge. 14,000 tons of garbage are generated every day, and only 10% of that is collected. It's a problem that results in greenhouse gas emissions, the spread of disease, and even contributes to flooding. And in fact, waste is a valuable resource once it's processed. Solomon Anwere is a farmer. He and his son now use compost made of organic waste on their maize fields.
Before I started using the compost on my crops, my yield was very low, but it's improved significantly. I've harvested a lot of maize this year. Last year I had about 10 bags, but this year it's increased to 20 bags. So the compost has been helpful.
The compost is made in the hybrid waste-to-energy plant near the city of Kumasi, where waste is also used to produce electricity from biogas. The solar-powered plant produces 400 kilowatt, enough to supply 500 households, the first of its kind in Ghana. It costs 5.8 million euros and was mostly funded by the German government. The plant was also developed with the help of German know-how. There is no shortage of waste that can be used. It's brought in from the town of Gyankoba.
So in a day, we process 10 tons, and then at the end of the day, we are expected to obtain about 50 cubic meters of gas.
The plant doesn't handle metals, but plastic waste gets shredded and sent elsewhere for recycling. The organic waste is used to produce biogas with the help of bacteria in this reactor. In the yellow building behind it, the biogas is converted into electricity by a generator. The plant will eventually employ a team of 50 people. For now, 20 people work here, including local experts in waste treatment who are getting further training in biogas technology from the German partners. For the time being, the energy produced here isn't being fed into the national grid. The amount of power produced by the plant isn't yet enough for the national transmission system.
Currently, we are looking at scaling up the production of energy from the biogas aspect to have more of the energy produced from the biogas aspect as compared to the solar that we have currently on the site, so that we can be connected to the grid, because it's a waste to energy project. So such that we have waste that is from the biogas aspect that is being converted to energy. And so the success of it is what we are looking for, that we have more energy that will be produced in the coming months so that it can be connected to the grid.
Until this happens, the electricity produced is used in the waste-to-energy plant itself. And the plant makes biocompost from organic waste in a closely monitored process that takes 30 days. The biocompost has helped to make Solomon Anwere's farm more eco-friendly, without the need for chemical fertilizers. And he even saves money.
Without this organic compost, I have to spend a lot of money to buy other types of fertilizers, and that's very expensive. Just one bag costs the equivalent of at least 30 euros. So using the organic compost has helped reduce my cost of production.
The waste-to-energy plant near Kumasi is a pilot project. If all goes well, the Ghanaian government plans to finance 10 more across the country.
Well, it's amazing when you can make something useful out of something that has been discarded. But first, of course, the waste has to be collected. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, a widespread and visible waste issue led one young woman there to push for change. Her aim is to help the environment and at the same time improve the lives of those around her.
At this event, the music has a clear message: environmental activism.
Our aim is to make young people understand that through music we can lead a real revolution and shape the vision of our environment and the climate crisis.
Streets paved with rubbish, clogged up gutters, everyday life in Kinshasa. It's time to turn this around, says Ketsia Onema Pasu.
It's terrible that so much rubbish is collected in such a small street. There's a huge lack of awareness about waste management. There's dirt everywhere. The roads are dustbins.
Ketsia Onema Pasu heads up FANIA, an association working to protect both the environment and children's rights. Today, the 20-year-old and her team are collecting rubbish with street children from the district of Bandal. Now it's time to do some planting.
We want to shift people's perception of the environment and lead them to understand that we can all take action, however small, with a sense of responsibility. A plant is like a child. We want to see it grow. We want to see it evolve.
Ketsia grew up in the DRC's capital. She was aware of the issue of pollution from an early age. When she was 12, she joined UNICEF's Young Reporters program and began writing about water pollution and children's rights. In 2021, Ketsia became a UNICEF Youth Ambassador for the Environment. Since then, she has continued raising awareness among authorities and the general public about children's rights, about access to drinking water and environmental protection. She takes us to Mbudi, the district where she grew up. It was here that she first noticed the damaging impact of trash on the area and on the Congo River.
My commitment stems from the fact that I decided not to accept the situation my country was in, but to see it as a problem. And that's the biggest challenge. How do I and all of us manage to encourage communities, individuals, young people to get involved and say stop? What I enjoy most about my work is passing on new knowledge and a new vision of the climate issue.
The capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Kinshasa, has been growing rapidly for decades. It is the third largest city in Africa after Cairo and Lagos. Its population of around 15 to 17 million produces around 10,000 tons of waste every day. A vast amount, especially in a city without a centralized waste collection system. During the rainy season, Kinshasa is regularly transformed into a river of rubbish. Ketsia and her team want to encourage people to reduce waste. They don't just focus on children, but everyone in the community. In the city's Masina district, they meet with the Trocadero rap group. Rapper She founded Trocadero. In him, Ketsia has found an ally.
The public isn't easy, but we said to ourselves that with time, they'll understand and they'll adapt. It's a question of time and learning how to get the message across. The more present we are, the more we'll make them understand what our vision is, and I think they'll adapt.
Through music, we can lead a real revolution and we can impact the vision of our environment, the vision of the climate crisis, and that's something that's going to happen over time, little by little. It's about changing mentalities, about understanding that it's fine to rap, but it's better to rap with a real message.
Buoyed by her determination and supported by friends like the Trocadero rappers, Ketsia continues to sow the seeds of change in Kinshasa. Little by little, she's building hope for a cleaner city and a community committed to tackling the challenges of climate change.
That's all for today. Would love to hear what you think about the show. So please reach out to us at eco@dw.com. You can also find more inspiring stories by searching for Eco Africa online. Thanks for watching. For now, it's goodbye from me, Chris Elems in Lagos, Nigeria. See you next time.